guys, Denzaga here, and this is a small tutorial on how to configure the cross hotbar. This is a tutorial I'm making just for an FC member, but it should hopefully help some of you guys out too. So I'm going to run through how I've got mine set up, because it's more than what you see here. Some keyboard players think they're going onto the cross hotbar system with their controller, might be put off because they think there's not a lot of buttons, but there's a lot of hidden buttons, and that's why I think it needs a tutorial, because I've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to explain how to set it up through text to the FC member, and that's difficult, so I'm going to make a video instead. So I'm going to run you through how I've got mine set up, and hopefully that'll help you. You might not want it exactly like mine, but hopefully that'll help you. So the first thing I'm going to go through is what it looks like on my menus, and then I will go through what that transfers to, what that looks like once you get down using the hotbar. So you find your hotbars on character configuration, and then you want to move down to hotbar settings, and display, I believe you can leave the same. I have some normal hotbar showing as well. If you look at the bottom right of your screen, I've got some normal hotbars displaying. So you can use both normal hotbars, you can use your control and your alt hotbars as well if you wanted to, plus your cross hotbar. So I just have some random things on here like teleport and Wondrous Tales book, job change macro, things like that, on my regular ones down here, and minions and mounts and stuff like that. So you can change this on pet hotbar display settings. You want it to be on display only cross hotbar, and also this one automatically replaces cross hotbar 1 with pet hotbar when mounted. That's when you get a special mount that uses abilities. It automatically puts them over here, so you don't have to switch to it. So again, that is up to you. I just switch those back if you want to use that or not. So we're going to go up to sharing. Sharing is for instance, I'm on Dark Knight now, so cross hotbar 1 to 6 are not shared with other jobs. So all these buttons, obviously, when I switch to another job, they're going to be different. Cross hotbar 7 and 8. So if I go on to, if I come out of the menu and I go on to cross hotbar 8, 7 and 8. These are shared between all jobs. So if I go onto a different job, this hotbar will do the same on that job. So you can put mounts and stuff on there if you want, but I don't use it. So if you don't use it, you don't need to touch that setting at all. But I've got it set on 7 and 8 if I ever wanted to, and the rest of them are for the job I'm on now. Move over to the cross setting. I'm going to quickly go through all of these to explain what they all do. So obviously you want enable cross hotbar on. Always display cross hotbar, obviously turns it on and off. Display hotbar help, I'm not quite sure that one does, I can't really tell you about that one. Use pet hotbar. So what use pet hotbar does is when you change to a job that has a pet, get Scholar out, summon pet. So now when I switch my hotbar, I press an RB, it switches to the pet hotbar. And if I wanted to actually switch to another hotbar, as in my what I usually would switch to with RB, I have to hold it and press it to go to her. So that's displaying the pet hotbar. I usually have that turned off because I've used the macro. This is broken. So again, character configuration. So I'm going to turn that one off because I don't use that one. Okay, use mount hotbar. That's exactly the same thing. When you get onto a mount that has actions, it displays it. But because of that setting that we put on before, automatically replace, it will just automatically go on. Because you don't need any of your buttons while you're on a mount, so you can automatically change it. Display control guide. Is that one? Not quite sure what that one is either. I think that's the buttons at where it gives you the names at the top above the buttons, but I'm not too sure. But I have that on. Cross hotbar controls, I have that on hold. So basically, you've got hold where you can hold the right trigger or the left trigger to keep them up, or you can do it so it's toggle, so you press it and it comes up. I can't do that because I have to save that one, I think. But yeah, I have it on hold. It's easier that way. Display type, D-pad, and top one. D-pad plus buttons, D-pad plus buttons. So basically, the buttons you're looking at now, if you look down at the cross hotbar, that is left. It's the D-pad, so left, up, right, down, and then it's the buttons. So it's X, Y, B, A. I'm not quite sure how it'd work if it was D-pad, buttons. But I don't use that, so that's the way I've got mine set up. W crossbar settings. Now, W crossbar settings is basically when you double tap the trigger. So if I double tap the right trigger, I get a second set of skills. And now when I press one of the buttons, it will use those skills rather than what's on the normal one. So you can have it set to always display. But I would have that off because of the way that I've got mine set up, and I'll show you how I set it up a bit later on. This one here, return to XHB after an input. So what that does is, if I press a button on here, so let's press Ruin, it changes back to here, so then I can go back to the normal skills. That becomes useful later on, and I will explain that. But I would have this setting turned on. So basically, you put all your skills that you can use quickly onto this bar. So you want it to switch back, because then you can use your main skills, because these are your secondary skills. Use a skill, go back to your main skills. Otherwise, you would have to turn it off. You would have to let go and then press it again to get back to that skill. So it's really helpful to have it on return to XHB. And then you want to click this one, position WXHB separately. That's so you can move it around on the HUD display settings. You definitely want that on, and I'll show you why I think that later on as well. And this timer is just the time between your taps. So if you're not fast enough, like if you find it's not coming up when you're double tapping, you can turn that up a little bit. Moving on to custom, you want the first one enabled, and you want these two with cross hotbar 3 left, cross hotbar 3 right, and then you want to enable this one, and then you want to enable directional buttons, and then cross hotbar 4 left, cross hotbar 4 right, and I'll explain what all this means in a minute. Set selection. You want to disable the top one. The top one basically allows you to, when you've got your weapon sheathed, have a hotbar on, and when you unsheathe your weapon, have a different hotbar pop up. So I guess you could have it displaying if you put it on, and if you turn this one on, you can put like your mounts and stuff when you got your weapon sheathed, and then have it switch to hotbar 1 when you unsheathe your weapon. But I don't do that. So I put enable customization for when weapon is sheathed, and the same for when it's drawn, because you want these to both be the same for each type. So you basically enable both of these and then put 1 and 2 on both of these. And I don't think I've touched anything down here. No, I've not touched anything here. So once you've got all these settings done, you can rewind to find if you've missed anything. You want to apply it, and then I'll explain what all of these do. So basically, well, I'll keep it back up just so I can explain each one of them. So first of all, I'll explain the set selection. So what you've done by setting it like this is basically I can't do it with this open. So we've got hotbar 1 and 2 selected. So when you press your RB button, it cycles between hotbar 1 and hotbar 2. If you want to get to 3, 4, 5 or 6, you have to hold it and then press the corresponding button. So up for 5, right for 6, down for 7, left for 8. So what that means is you've got skills you've got quick access to, rather than like having all your bars, because we're going to be putting skills on 3 and 4 as well, but skills that we're not going to be using. If we're on like 1 and we switch to 2 because we've got skills on there we don't need, to get back to 1 you'll have to cycle through them all again to get back to 1. So that's why you only have 2 bars. So it's however many bars you can manage, but I just have 1 and 2 that I've never needed more than that. So the next setting we'll look at is expanded controls. display with LR and display with RT. So remember to set them up like this: cross hotbar 3 left, cross hotbar 3 right, in that order. What that does is if you hold one of the triggers and then press the next one, press and hold the next one, it brings up a third hotbar for you, so you can put more skills on there. So what that's doing is if you go onto hotbar, your third hotbar, when you press in right and then you're holding left, it's bringing that right set of skills up onto the screen to use. So you can put all of your skills onto here that you need. Why have I run over there? I wanted to be in front of this time. So all the skills, let's just change back to dark because this has got better skills to show you. So all the skills that I put on here are usually buffs. So if you look on my right plus left here, I've got Rampart, I've got Anticipation, Shadow Wall. So that's where I stick those skills. So basically you're in cross hotbar 1 or 2, and if you've noticed, my cross hotbar 1 and 2 is very similar. It's just I've changed the Soul Eater combo with the hard slash. I've changed that combo around. That's how I use my hotbars when I'm on certain jobs. I do the same with Dragoon as well, where I just have the different rotations and everything else is the same. So yeah, so I'm fighting, I'm using the power slash combo, and then between global cooldowns, I want to put a buff up. So then I just press that, put the buff up, and then let go, and go back to those. So that's why I put the like off global cooldown skills in that buff me. And so that's right and left. If you hold the left and then press right, it does the exact same thing, but brings up the left-hand side of that set 3. I hardly use this one on Dark, so it's got my bounce and my teleport and stuff on that side. But if I went onto Astrologian, where is it? My Astrologian, if you have a look at the set here, I've got my healing skills on the right trigger, and I've got my DPS on the left trigger. That's my cards. So when I'm on the left trigger, if I hold L and then press right, I've got my AoE, I've got some buffs on there. So that's how that works. So we'll go back to Dark again. So the next thing I want to explain, and there's no HUD changing you have to do to get that to work, to look like that. So that's fine. The next thing I'm going to explain though will need some changes made. So if we go onto here, custom, the next thing is the XHB crossbar. That's the double tap one as I explained earlier. So if you are on here and you double tap R, it will bring up anything on hotbar 4 on the right, and if you double tap L, it'll bring up anything on the hotbar on the left. And then what I've done is, if, like I said, if you press a skill on it, it disappears, and then your normal hotbar comes up. So let me show you how I utilise that before I go on to the next step. I was inside to avoid the hazard area music. Right, so for instance, I'm on my Soul Eater combo, and I want to use Dark Arts between cooldowns, and I want to use it to buff Soul Eater. So if you look on my bar 4, my Dark Arts skill, I don't know if I've got my mouse enabled, my Dark Arts skill is on Y, and on my normal bar, my Soul Eater is on Y. So when I press double tap, I can press Y twice, and to get the effect of having Dark Arts, then Soul Eater being used. So if I go on here and do my skills, double tap and press Y, and then Y again, I then get the effect of having Dark Arts and then Soul Eater. So that's why I've got it set like that. Let's get away from battle music. Now, if you look how I've got this set up, the extra hotbar, the double tap one, is up and right. That's where around about where the game places it, and it's a little bit smaller than your skills as well. the display size is a little bit smaller. I have my display size across Hotbar, I think on 80. I think maybe a little bit smaller. So you might have to adjust the size, but I had to adjust this to make it bigger. To get it like it looks on the left there. So you may have to do some adjusting depending on how big you put it across Hotbar. So what one of the options you clicked earlier was, I think it was on cross here. Yeah, position this separately. Because what you want to do, or what I do, because when you do this, your main hotbar is still showing, and you might think you're using one of those skills down there, where actually it's going to use them at the top. So when you press this, you've got to look up and right, look at the skills on there, find the one you want. So what I do is go to HUD layout, find hotbar one, I can press it, and then I drag it over my buttons. And then can I use this here? No. So then what I did was, so you drag it over, and then you double tap, and then you see if it matches up. And that pretty much matches up, because what I want to do, what I was looking for, is when you double tap it, for it to just swap out the hotbars. So it's as if the double tap one is sitting underneath the single tap one. You double tap it, bring up those skills, press the skill, and then go the way. So let me show you that in action. I did have to resize it, so, and when I moved this for the tutorial, I'm sure I resized it, but yeah, you might have to play around with it to get it to match up exactly how you want it to look. But yeah, so let's show you this in action. So if I press my skills, and then I want to dark arts, so I'll double tap, press that, and then use Soul Eater. So it's use the combo, double tap, it brings up the buff, press the buff, and then the same button again to get the Soul Eater. So I call it putting the skill underneath the item. So at the moment, Dark Arts is underneath Soul Eater. Bring it to the top, press it, and then again to complete the combo. So that's why I've got it set up like that. It's less distracting that way. You're still looking in the same place for your skills with the same button presses. It's much simpler, and it's really nice and streamlined. So I believe that's it. The way that I've got you set up now, the way I've told you how to do it, is you're going to have two main hotbars that you put skills on. That's 1 and 2. To put things on the hold R and then L, you need to put that on hotbar 3. And that's right side and left side. Right side is if you're holding R first and then pressing left. Left side is if you're holding L first and pressing R next. For the double tap buttons, you're going to want to press number 4 to get those. So that is about it. I think I've covered everything I need to. If you won't have any questions or I've not covered something you think I should have covered, please leave those questions in the comments below. And I'll try and answer them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. I've been Denzaki, should I say, and I'll see you next time.